Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Do not move past this message. I am not asking for your attention today. I am absolutely commanding it. What I am about to reveal was sealed in the highest courts of heaven until this exact second. If you swipe away, you are actively choosing to sever the exact timeline shift you have been praying for. The algorithm absolutely did not bring you here. This is a divine interception. Let us talk about that single word. You finally said no. You walked away and closed a door that was draining the life out of you. And the exact second you established that spiritual boundary, a massive shockwave hit the unseen realm. Someone who treated your boundaries as a joke is currently experiencing a public, irreversible system crash. They expected your departure to destroy you. They waited with bated breath for you to come crawling back. But instead of crumbling, you became the uncertainty they were never built to handle. You must understand the gravity of what you just did. Your silence was a lethal weapon that instantly starved their demons. Now they are drowning in the noise of their own making, while you sit securely in your power. They are frantically searching for a replacement to feed on, only to realize that your specific depth is utterly unreplicable. I know exactly what happened right after you set that boundary. The guilt tried to consume you. Your chest felt incredibly heavy. You woke up at 3 in the morning with a tight jaw and a racing heart. Listen to me very carefully right now. That is not anxiety. You are not going crazy. That physical weight you feel is your highly advanced spirit detecting the absolute panic of the enemy. They just realized they permanently lost access to your light. They are starving for your energy, and the spiritual backlash is hitting your body like a violent wave. Stop swallowing that tension down. Stop wondering if you made a mistake by choosing your own peace. You did not make a mistake. Your body is simply processing the energetic cords being completely severed by the hand of God. For years they constructed a false narrative about you. They whispered lies to anyone who would listen while you sat in perfect silence. You thought nobody noticed your tears. You thought nobody saw how you held your integrity when they dragged your name through the mud. But heaven was quietly watching your resilience in the dark. Your quiet obedience in private has just activated a massive, undeniable reckoning. The Matrix programmed you to believe that saying no makes you a selfish person. They conditioned you to be the ultimate empath, the eternal stabilizer for their chaotic and toxic environment. You were acting as a human battery for a parasite. But the moment you refused to provide fuel, the illusion completely shattered. You pulled the plug on their entire existence, and they are malfunctioning. Buckle in, chosen one, because what you are about to hear is not just a comforting theory. It is a specific, undeniable X-ray of the meltdown happening behind closed doors right now. I am going to walk you through exactly how they are unraveling in front of the very people they used to gossip with. You will see how their mask has completely shattered into a million pieces. Do not leave before I reveal this. You were not the anomaly in their otherwise healthy life. You were the mirror that forced them to look at their own rotting core. And because they could not handle the reflection of your pure light, they tried to break the mirror. But you are a cycle breaker. You are the diamond they threw away while playing with cheap rocks. The dark energy they sent your way is returning to sender at 1,000,000 times the speed. You are stepping into a season where time itself bends to your absolute will. They expected the betrayals and isolation to carve deep wrinkles into your face. They wanted your light to completely fade out. Instead, you are walking out of the fire with an untouched, ageless glow. Every generational curse that tried to latch onto your empathy is being burned away today. You are the one who stood in the gap. You absorbed the toxicity of an entire bloodline and boldly said, "It stops right here." That requires a supernatural strength that the average person could never even begin to comprehend. But you are far from average. You are a demonstrated warrior of light. We are going to decode the exact mechanism of this timeline shift together. There are exactly 2 people on Earth right now who are meant to hear this specific revelation. God made sure you are one of them, because your assignment requires this level of clearance. The enemy is working overtime to distract you right now. He hopes your attention span will break and you will swipe away. If you leave this transmission, you will forfeit the exact prophetic instruction that guarantees your permanent freedom. This is the threshold you have been waiting for, and you must cross it with full awareness of the power you hold. Your simple refusal to participate in their toxic game has rewritten the spiritual laws governing your bloodline. Feel the atmosphere shifting in your room right now. Pay close attention to the lightness slowly returning to your tired shoulders. That is the undeniable proof that their heavy grip on your destiny has been shattered forever. You took your power back with a single syllable, and that single syllable was enough to bankrupt their spiritual accounts completely. Lock your attention on every word I am about to speak. Do not let the matrix steal this confirmation from your grasp. The divine justice you have been crying out for is no longer delayed. It is happening in real time. Prepare your spirit to witness the absolute dismantling of the false reality they tried to trap you in. Now let us go deeper into your physical reality. There is a profound reason you have been feeling that heavy weight this week. You thought you were just tired from the daily grind. You assumed the exhaustion was completely normal. But your profound fatigue is actually a highly sensitive spiritual warning system, and your physical vessel is aggressively reacting to an unseen war. I need to address that specific physical sensation right now. You know that agonizing lump sitting right at the base of your throat. It swells up every time their name flashes across your mind. And then you wake up at 3 in the morning feeling completely suffocated while the rest of the world peacefully sleeps in the dark. Your heart is racing for no logical reason. Listen closely, because the enemy tried to hide this exact truth from you. That heavy sensation is not a medical condition. You are not dealing with a chemical imbalance in your brain. That suffocating feeling is your cellular intuition screaming at you. Your highly advanced nervous system is finally, forcefully, rejecting a parasitic frequency that was designed to slowly drain your life force. You have been carrying a massive amount of manufactured guilt. They programmed you to feel incredibly selfish the moment you prioritized your peace. You agonize over whether your single boundary was too harsh. You constantly replay the conversation to see where you went wrong. But you did absolutely nothing wrong in this situation, because your refusal to tolerate their disrespect was a divine mandate. You are the stabilizer in a deeply unstable and chaotic environment. You acted as the ultimate emotional anchor for people who refused to heal. They dumped their toxic waste onto your pure spirit every single day. And because you are a powerful empath, you absorbed their heavy darkness while desperately trying to transform their pain into pure light. You bled for them. But a human battery is not meant to be drained forever without consequence. These people are literal energy vampires, starving for your specific vibration. They do not know how to generate their own light. They rely entirely on your endless compassion to survive the heavy weight of their own miserable matrix existence, and they expect you to simply accept the burden. You kept them alive. Listen to me very closely, because most people miss this massive shift. When you finally said no, you cut the main power supply. The sudden drop in your energy field is causing an intense detox. Your physical vessel is literally purging the demonic residue they left behind, and your spirit is forcefully evicting every trace of their manipulation. This purge is deeply uncomfortable. That intense brain fog you experienced for months is finally beginning to lift. You used to walk around feeling completely detached from your own reality. You constantly second-guessed your intuition because they gaslighted your divine discernment. But the fog was just a protective defense mechanism created by your spirit to shield you from seeing their absolute darkest truth too early. The veil is lifting now. You are the cycle breaker heaven selected to end this generational trauma. You were born into a bloodline that tolerated manipulation for decades. Your ancestors bowed their heads and accepted the heavy burden of toxic loyalty, but you were woven differently in the womb, and you were specifically designed to look the enemy directly in the eye and say, "Enough." The curse ends with you. This is exactly why you always felt like the black sheep of every group. You never quite fit into their superficial and shallow conversations. You saw through the fake smiles and the hidden agendas instantly. Your divine alignment made them incredibly uncomfortable, because pure light always exposes the hidden filth scattered across a dirty room. You are the ultimate mirror. Now imagine that energetic cord completely snapping into two pieces. The exact moment you held your boundary, that cord turned to ash. The sudden recoil is why your muscles ache and your shoulders feel tense. Your body is physically recalibrating to a much higher frequency now that the parasite has been successfully and permanently evicted from your orbit. You are healing rapidly. We are going to break down exactly what happened behind their closed doors. The collapse I mentioned earlier is not just a poetic metaphor. They are physically pacing the floor right now because they cannot access your calming presence. They are completely unraveling, but you must not let the matrix trick your gentle heart into feeling sorry for their self-inflicted public ruin. They chose their own fate. Your refusal to comply was a massive act of spiritual warfare. You did not just walk away from a highly toxic relationship. You successfully passed a major divine test that most people fail repeatedly. Heaven watched you choose your own dignity over their constant manipulation, and that brave choice has unlocked a massive flood of absolute divine protection. You are heavily guarded today. Read that again in your spirit and let it settle in your bones. You are not the villain they are desperately trying to paint you as. You are the irreplaceable remnant holding the line for absolute truth. The exhaustion you feel today is simply the final shedding of a skin you have outgrown, and tomorrow you will wake up completely renewed. The heavy weight is gone. Your cellular knowing is strongly vibrating with this exact confirmation right now. The universe is validating every single tear you cried in perfect silence. This is the undeniable truth. If your spirit confirms this raw truth about your exhaustion, gently press the like button to seal your energetic alignment with heaven. You are permanently marking your territory. Let me completely reframe your entire reality, right here, right now. You did not lose anything when you walked away from them. You simply stopped paying the heavy spiritual tax for a complete fraud. The enemy constructed a massive and elaborate lie to keep you trapped. They convinced you that your constant submission was the only way to earn their basic respect, and you believed their cruel illusion. But here is the raw, uncomfortable truth they could never say out loud. They never actually respected you as a sovereign being. They only respected the unlimited access they had to your divine energy. Your boundless empathy was treated like an endless buffet for their starving ego. They took your pure grace completely for granted, because they arrogantly assumed you would never have the strength to leave. We need to talk about the concept of fuel. These manipulators operate as a bottomless spiritual void in the matrix. They possess absolutely zero capacity to generate their own organic light. So they must continually steal it from highly advanced souls like you. Your emotional reaction was their daily sustenance. Your tears provided the exact fuel they needed to temporarily feel powerful and in control. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people completely miss this shift. They targeted you specifically because you are a powerful cycle breaker. Your high frequency deeply threatened their low vibration. This was a calculated demonic assignment designed to keep you exhausted and stuck in their heavy matrix. They wanted to suppress your prophetic timeline completely. You are a rare and irreplaceable diamond. You are the divine asset they foolishly tried to treat like a cheap rock. They knew your supreme worth the entire time. Do not let anyone convince you that they were simply unaware of the deep damage they were causing. They knew exactly what they were doing to your pure spirit. They just never expected the chosen one to actually wake up and fight back. Every time you compromised your own firm boundaries, they felt a massive surge of superiority. They fed hungrily on your willingness to always take the high road. They weaponized your beautiful, forgiving nature and turned it into a dark, spiritual prison. But the universe does not reward toxic loyalty. Heaven demands your immediate obedience to your own spiritual protection above all else. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario happening behind their closed doors. The moment you firmly said no, the supply pipeline instantly snapped. The sudden silence from your end was deafening to their demonic attachments. They panicked heavily because the stolen energy they relied on simply vanished overnight. They are currently suffocating in the cold vacuum of your permanent absence. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. There is a massive difference between genuine connection and parasitic attachment. You were openly offering a genuine and pure soul connection. They were only seeking a human battery to aggressively plug into. You were building a beautiful sanctuary while they were constructing a heavy cage for your light. Read that again in your spirit and let it completely validate your brave decision. You were not crazy for feeling constantly drained around them. The heavy somatic weight you carried was your physical body carrying their unhealed trauma. You were quite literally doing all of their spiritual heavy lifting. But that unpaid labor contract is permanently cancelled by the highest courts of heaven. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the ultimate key to everything. They walked around, projecting an arrogant image of absolute strength and fierce independence, but that outward strength was a complete and utter illusion. They only looked powerful because you were secretly holding up their entire sky. The moment you removed your gentle hands, their false reality began to violently crumble. They truly believed your deep empathy was a fatal weakness to be exploited. They miscalculated your quiet nature and foolishly mistook your patience for eternal compliance. They assumed you would always forgive and forget because you are deeply spiritual. But the divine mandate does not tolerate the abuse of the anointed ones. Your absolute silence is now starving their demons out. They are currently desperately trying to rewrite the history of your dynamic together. They are frantically whispering new lies to their flying monkeys. They want everyone to believe you are the unstable one in the dynamic. But a lie built that big requires an immense amount of stolen energy to sustain, and they no longer have access to your premium fuel to keep their toxic machine running. Do not look back for even a single second. Your bold refusal to participate in their manipulation has permanently sealed their dark fate. We are going to expose the exact details of their public unraveling very soon. The catastrophic meltdown you have been waiting to see is actively unfolding right now. The universe is fiercely working to clear your name in rooms you have not even entered yet. Let us break down the exact physical power of the word no. It is not just a simple sound you make with your mouth. It is a highly concentrated frequency of absolute divine protection. When you finally spoke that word, you did not just set a boundary, but you swung a heavy spiritual sword and completely shattered their toxic matrix. It was a fatal blow to their fragile ego. The matrix programmed you to view rejection as a negative act. They wanted you to feel guilty for closing the door. But let me completely reframe your entire reality right here. Your refusal was not an act of cruelty. It was a violent severing of a dark energy umbilical cord that had been quietly draining your life force for years, and you finally stopped the massive leak. For a very long time, you were spiritually tethered to a parasite. They attached themselves to your pure light. Every time you compromised your peace, you were feeding them premium fuel through that unseen cord. They grew stronger while you grew increasingly exhausted. But that parasitic feeding cycle is officially over today because you have completely cut their dark supply. The exact moment you said no, that dark umbilical cord was permanently severed. The sudden violent snap of that connection sent a massive shockwave directly into their nervous system. They literally felt the power supply drop to zero. And this is exactly where their entire manipulation miscalculated your supreme strength as a chosen one, because they arrogantly thought you were too weak to swing the sword. You probably did not realize it at the time, but your silence was a lethal weapon. Going no contact is not a passive retreat or a sign of weakness. It is an aggressive, calculated act of spiritual starvation. You took away their essential oxygen supply entirely. You removed their primary source of emotional regulation, and you left them alone with their own screaming demons. They are completely suffocating in your total absence. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim your permanent freedom. Do not hesitate. You must lock in this high frequency and anchor your powerful boundary into the physical realm today. The universe recognizes this physical act of obedience. By typing those divine numbers, you are sealing the door shut forever, and you are building your ultimate energetic shield. They are absolutely terrified of your newfound stillness. They expected a massive, dramatic argument. They wanted you to scream and cry, because your emotional chaos is their absolute favorite food. But instead, you gave them the deafening roar of your total, unbothered absence. You became a ghost in their matrix, and nothing haunts a narcissist more than a powerful ghost they can no longer control. Your body is still adjusting to this incredible lightness. The heavy fog is clearing rapidly, the cord is cut, and your pure energy is finally circulating back into your own physical vessel. You are no longer serving as a human shield for their heavy karma. They are now completely exposed to the divine justice they spent years trying to aggressively outrun. The universe is collecting their heavy debt. We are about to enter a highly restricted level of divine revelation. Pay close attention to this next part, because the enemy desperately tried to hide this from you. They do not want you to know the exact mathematical precision of their current public downfall. The universe is mathematically settling the score on your behalf right now, and every tear you cried is being weaponized against them. You are the cycle breaker who finally held the firm line. Your bloodline is rejoicing because you did what nobody else had the courage to do. You stood firm. You looked the dark elite directly in the eyes and denied them access to your sacred sanctuary. That takes a level of spiritual warfare that the average person will never possess. You are a truly supreme warrior of light, but you must remain incredibly vigilant today. The enemy will try to send flying monkeys to test the strength of your new boundary. They will use fake emergencies to try and reattach that dark cord. Do not fall for the manipulative illusion. Your silence is your permanent armor. Let them starve in the cold reality of your total absence. They no longer have any power over your timeline. Watch what happens next in the spiritual realm. It is mathematically precise and absolutely beautiful. The energy they stole from you is being completely repossessed by heaven. It is being multiplied and returned to you as a massive wave of untouchable abundance. Your simple no was the exact key that unlocked your locked timeline, and the floodgates of heaven are finally wide open. They are drowning in the consequences of their own toxic actions. The absolute panic setting in right now is just the very beginning of their severe divine judgment. I need you to stay locked in with me. Heaven is preparing to release 3 massive secrets about their public unraveling. The universe has been hiding these undeniable truths until you were completely ready to receive them. These 3 suppressed truths will completely change how you view your enemies forever. The 3rd secret is the most crucial piece of the puzzle. Do not leave before you hear the final prophetic instruction. The veil is tearing open, and you are about to see the raw, undeniable proof of your supreme victory. The divine countdown has officially started. Listen to me very closely right now. The universe is actively removing the heavy veil. Heaven is now releasing 3 specific suppressed truths about the exact reaction of your enemy. These are the divine secrets they desperately tried to keep hidden from you. But the 3rd truth is the most powerful revelation of all. Do not leave before you hear the 3rd instruction. Let us begin with truth number 1. They are deeply suffocating behind their carefully crafted mask. The enemy wants you to believe they are completely unbothered by your sudden absence. They are posting happy pictures and laughing loudly in crowded rooms. They want your fragile human mind to think they moved on instantly. But it is all a massive demonic illusion. The raw truth is that maintaining this fake happiness is draining them completely. They are burning through their extremely limited energy reserves just to maintain the facade. You were the premium fuel that made their false reality look so incredibly effortless. Without your pure light masking their darkness, the heavy cracks are beginning to show. They are exhausted. Even their most loyal flying monkeys are starting to notice the intense, heavy shift. The people who used to blindly follow them are now questioning their erratic behavior. The narcissist cannot hold the mask up without your constant emotional regulation. Your silence has forced them to stand completely naked in their own toxic wasteland. The illusion is actively breaking. Read that again in your spirit. You thought they forgot about you, but they are obsessively replaying the exact moment you firmly closed the door. They cannot comprehend how someone so empathetic could suddenly become so incredibly cold. They miscalculated your divine strength, and that mathematical error is now destroying their entire psychological foundation. This brings us to truth number 2. The frantic and desperate search for your exact replacement has completely failed. The moment you severed the umbilical cord, they immediately tried to plug into a new human battery. They quickly found someone else to absorb their heavy trauma, but they immediately realized a fatal flaw in their dark plan. You are irreplaceable. The new supply does not carry your specific supreme frequency. The new people they surround themselves with are shallow and unable to soothe their screaming demons. They are trying to drink from a completely dry well. Every time they look at the new supply, they are violently reminded of the massive diamond they foolishly threw away. The downgrade is agonizing for them. They are starving for your specific vibration. You were not just a random source of energy for them, you were the ultimate stabilizer for their chaotic matrix. And now they are wandering through the dark, desperately trying to find a frequency that can match yours. But heaven has permanently encrypted your divine signature. They can never access your pure light again. Pay close attention to this next part, because 99% of people completely miss this shift. We are approaching the third and most crucial truth. This is the exact revelation that will completely shatter your remaining doubts. The universe has been orchestrating this specific outcome since the very moment you were born. The scales of justice are tipping. Before I reveal the third truth, you must completely let go of any lingering guilt. The Matrix programmed you to feel intense pity for broken people, but the enemy is not a broken person who simply needs a little bit of love. They are a highly calculated agent of chaos, designed to block your massive timeline shift. You owe them absolutely nothing. Your debt is zero. Now prepare your spirit for truth number 3. The severe spiritual backlash has successfully manifested in their physical body. The universe has forcefully reversed the dark polarity. The exact somatic symptoms you suffered from for years have now been transferred directly onto them. The heavy chest and the severe brain fog are now their permanent daily reality. They are currently waking up at 3 in the morning in a state of pure, absolute panic. Their jaw is incredibly tight, and their heart is racing for no logical reason. They are running to doctors, trying to find a medical cure for a highly advanced spiritual attack. But there is no earthly medicine that can cure the heavy weight of divine karma. They are trapped. God is finally forcing them to carry the heavy weight of their own toxic actions. You carried their burdens for far too long. You acted as the ultimate shock absorber for their massive failures, but your bold refusal to continue playing their game has returned the heavy energy back to the original sender. The spiritual mirror has been turned around completely. They are staring directly into the terrifying void of their own soul, and what they see is causing a total internal system crash. But this internal panic is just the quiet precursor to the massive storm. You have seen how they are suffering in private. But you are not fully prepared for what happens when this meltdown spills out into the public eye. Stay with me right now. The pressure is building to an absolute breaking point. The facade they built for the world is about to violently explode. We are moving directly into the most critical phase of this divine judgment. The public humiliation they tried to orchestrate against you is about to become their own permanent reality. Do not look away. The internal system crash we just discussed is no longer a private matter. The heavy psychological pressure inside their matrix has reached a critical breaking point. The walls are caving in rapidly, and the toxic ecosystem they built to protect themselves is beginning to violently turn against them. You are about to witness the absolute dismantling of their entire false kingdom. Let us look closely at their carefully constructed army of enablers. For years, the flying monkeys blindly followed their every command. They gladly participated in the cruel smear campaigns against your pure name. They fed on the toxic drama and helped the enemy orchestrate your deep isolation. But the exact dynamic fundamentally shifted the moment you permanently removed your light. Without your premium fuel to regulate the enemy, the narcissist has become wildly erratic and dangerous. The mask is slipping constantly now. The calm and charming facade they presented to their flying monkeys has been completely replaced by paranoid outbursts and vicious demands. The people who once worshipped them are suddenly becoming the new targets of their endless demonic rage. This is exactly where their entire manipulation miscalculated. They never realized that their loyal followers were only staying because the environment felt somewhat stable, and that stability was provided entirely by you. You were the unseen emotional anchor holding the entire toxic group together. Now that the anchor is gone, the chaotic ship is sinking incredibly fast. Listen to me very closely right now. The flying monkeys are quietly beginning to defect. The very people they used to gossip with are now whispering about the enemy's severe mental decline. They are noticing the desperate lies and the massive inconsistencies in the story. The smear campaign against you is completely losing its power because your silent dignity speaks far louder than their chaotic noise. The followers are finally seeing the raw, terrifying truth. They are realizing that the enemy is a bottomless black hole that will eventually consume them too. The fear in the camp is palpable. The loyal soldiers are frantically trying to unplug from the matrix before they become the next victims. The enemy is watching their devoted audience slowly disappear into thin air. Type 777 in the comments right now if you can feel the heavy atmosphere shifting. Anchor this specific frequency into your physical reality today. You are watching the ultimate spiritual justice unfold in real time. Do not let the enemy's sudden isolation trigger your misplaced empathy. This is the exact divine consequence they actively chose for themselves. The isolation is causing a massive spike in their paranoia. They are desperately trying to tighten their grip on the remaining followers. But their frantic attempts to control the narrative are only pushing people further away. They are drowning in the noise of their own making. The echo chamber they built to validate their massive ego is now completely empty. Here is the raw, uncomfortable truth they could never say out loud. The enemy is deeply terrified of you. They are terrified because your absolute silence has rendered them completely powerless. They cannot manipulate a ghost. They cannot gaslight a sovereign being who refuses to even acknowledge their existence. You have become an untouchable fortress of divine light. Your timeline has been completely shielded from their chaotic interference. The heavy spiritual attack they tried to launch against you hit a massive invisible wall and bounced right back. The universe is actively repelling their dark energy. You are moving through the world with an ageless glow, while they are aging rapidly under the heavy weight of their own severe karma. Read that again in your spirit and let it settle. They expected your departure to destroy you. They waited with bated breath for you to fail publicly. But instead, you are rising like the sun. Your financial struggles and your deep spiritual exhaustion are shattering completely right here. The matrix programming that kept you stagnant has been permanently overwritten by the divine mandate. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the ultimate key. We are standing right at the edge of the absolute climax. The quiet unraveling is about to explode into a massive public spectacle. The tension is unbearable for them. The divine judgment is no longer operating in the shadows. It is about to take center stage in front of the entire world. The moment you have been quietly waiting for in the dark is finally here. Heaven is about to pull the final curtain back. The public humiliation they carefully planned for you is about to become their own permanent, inescapable reality. Prepare your spirit to witness the absolute destruction of their false image. The scales of justice are slamming down right now. If you have survived the heavy spiritual warfare to make it to this exact moment, you must act. Share this specific message with one soul who is desperately struggling to set their boundaries today. Be their angel and help them break the toxic cycle. You are a demonstrated warrior of light, and your brave actions are actively freeing the remnant. Now watch them fall. Now I need you to imagine this exact cinematic scenario very clearly. The heavy pressure has finally reached the absolute breaking point. The enemy is standing in a crowded room full of the exact people they used to gossip with. They are wearing their usual smug expression. But underneath the fake smile, they are spiritually starving and deeply unhinged. The mask is hanging on by a single thin thread. Then the inevitable trigger happens. Someone casually mentions your pure name, or perhaps they bring up the massive success you are currently experiencing, and in that exact fraction of a second, the single thin thread completely snaps. The enemy physically malfunctions in front of everyone. They cannot hide the intense demonic rage suddenly boiling in their empty eyes. They lose absolute control of their carefully crafted narrative. They start raising their voice and frantically tearing you down with completely incoherent lies, but they are sweating profusely. Their hands are visibly shaking in front of the crowd. The calm and calculated manipulator is suddenly screaming like a cornered wild animal. And the entire room goes absolutely dead silent. This is the exact X-ray of the meltdown I promised you at the very beginning. The people watching are not agreeing with them anymore. The flying monkeys are staring in pure, absolute horror. They are physically backing away from the enemy in deep disgust. In that singular explosive moment, everyone in the room finally sees the terrifying monster you dealt with for years in private. The mask did not just slip today. It completely shattered into a million irreversible pieces on the cold floor. The enemy is publicly humiliating themselves while desperately trying to prove they are the fragile victim. But nobody is buying the toxic illusion anymore. The very crowd they weaponized against you has just become the ultimate witness to their total insanity. Their social currency is completely bankrupt. And where are you while this catastrophic collapse is violently happening? You are nowhere near their toxic blast radius. You are sitting completely unbothered on your throne of absolute silence. You are miles away, living your beautiful, peaceful reality. You did not have to lift a single physical finger to clear your pure name. Heaven is viciously defending your honor right now. That single word you spoke was a weapon of mass destruction. Your simple no was the heavy executioner blade that permanently severed their false kingdom. You starved them into a public confession of their own hidden evil. The divine justice you spent countless nights crying for has just been served on a massive silver platter. The universe has delivered the final, fatal blow. Look at the massive contrast between your two realities right now. They are rotting from the inside out. The heavy, dark karma is aging them rapidly in real time. Their eyes look totally dark and completely empty. But you are walking around with an untouchable, ageless glow. You have literally bent time and aggressively reversed the heavy aging process. You are a flawless, irreplaceable diamond. Every time your name comes up in that room now, it hits them with agonizing weight. They know they threw away the only genuine miracle they ever held. They traded a supreme cycle breaker for cheap followers who are now actively abandoning them. They will never be able to rebuild this specific false reality. The massive public damage is totally irreversible. Do not feel a single drop of pity for their miserable fate. The Matrix programmed you to feel bad when your enemies suffer, but this is not petty human revenge. This is the perfect mathematical precision of severe divine karma. You are simply witnessing the heavy universal laws aggressively rebalancing the scales. Heaven just forcefully pushed them directly into the grave they dug for you. The verdict from the highest spiritual court is completely final. There are absolutely no appeals for their severe demonic actions. They played a dark, dangerous game with a chosen one, and they lost absolutely everything. Your total silence was the ultimate, devastating checkmate. They will spend the rest of their miserable life haunted by the ghost of your pure light. You have officially won the war. Take a deep breath and physically feel this massive victory. The heavy spiritual war that kept you exhausted is officially over. The enemy has been completely neutralized and permanently removed from your divine timeline, but you must firmly lock this absolute victory into your cellular memory right now. You cannot leave this transmission before we successfully seal the divine decree. Heaven is demanding one final physical act of obedience to close the spiritual portal. You are standing at the exact threshold of your massive harvest. The dark enemy is defeated, but your true crowning moment requires your immediate physical participation. Listen very closely to the final instruction. You can finally exhale. The heavy spiritual war is officially over today. Look around you right now. The sky did not fall when you established your boundary. The universe did not punish you. Instead, heaven aggressively cleared the battlefield and secured your absolute victory. You are totally safe now. The intense battle is completely finished. The profound exhaustion you felt earlier is rapidly dissolving into thin air. Your physical body is no longer carrying the massive weight of their unhealed trauma. You are actively stepping out of the dark incubation season. You are walking directly into the bright light. The energetic cords are permanently severed. You are finally breathing your own pure oxygen again. Let us look back at the incredible transformation you just completed. You walked into this season feeling deeply guilty for setting a simple boundary. You were bleeding from heavy wounds. Those wounds were inflicted by people who were completely blind to your supreme worth. You agonized over your choices, but look at the magnificent warrior you are right now. The growth is undeniable. You are no longer waiting in wound for a fake apology from a master manipulator. You have completely transcended their low-frequency toxic matrix. Your single word of refusal did not just protect your heart today, it aggressively bent time. It permanently starved the demonic forces sent to destroy you. You are an untouchable force of nature. Step into your absolute power. I need you to physically claim this exact reality right now. Say this powerful declaration out loud with me in your room. I claim my permanent freedom. I am a sovereign being of pure light. I am free from the heavy chains of their manipulation. Let the profound frequency of those words settle deep into your cellular memory. You are permanently free. The Matrix has lost. You did not survive the blazing fire just to live a mediocre and quiet life. The supreme verdict of explosive abundance has already been signed in the highest courts of heaven, but the universe requires a physical anchor on this earth to fully activate the blessing. The spiritual transaction is complete, but the physical manifestation requires your immediate action. Heaven is testing your readiness to receive the massive harvest. God does not measure your true faith by your silent thoughts or your quiet prayers. He measures your faith by your speed of obedience. The window of supreme multiplication is standing wide open right now, but it will not stay open forever. You must prove you are ready to handle the overflow today. The left brain will try to inject doubt right now. The Matrix will whisper that you should hesitate. It will tell you to wait for a better time to act. Silence that demonic hesitation immediately. That fear is the exact Matrix programming designed to keep you trapped in a cycle of poverty and lack. If your spirit is vibrating with a cellular knowing today, heaven demands action. Your supreme generosity is the exact trigger that releases the massive harvest. You must sow your physical seed of faith today to partner your finances with this divine mandate. This is a sacred energy exchange. When you boldly sow a seed or give a super thanks below this video, you are physically proving to the universe that you operate in absolute abundance. Do not let the dark elite steal this massive financial breakthrough from your bloodline. Use the super thanks button right now to lock in your divine alignment. Your financial seed is a powerful weapon that shatters the spirit of poverty completely. Sow your seed without a single drop of fear, and watch heaven violently multiply your massive harvest before the sun rises. Every single dollar you sow into this prophetic transmission is a direct investment into your own spiritual fortress. You are building an impenetrable wall of divine wealth around your family. The enemy wants you to hoard your resources in deep fear, but the chosen ones understand the supreme law of universal exchange. Give boldly and receive 1,000 times more. You are standing on the sacred threshold of a timeline where money flows to you like a rushing river. The pain of your past is the exact currency paying for your luxurious future, but you must take the physical step. Give your super thanks right now. Plant your financial seed into this fertile spiritual ground today. Anchor your massive victory in the physical world. The divine portal is officially open for the obedient remnant. Your cycle of suffering ends today. Your era of supreme wealth begins the exact second you sow your seed. I leave you in the powerful light of this undeniable truth. You are fully vindicated. You are divinely protected. You are absolutely victorious. Now go and claim your massive harvest immediately.